Hi, welcome back to the channel. My name is Andy Hubbard and I'm going to share with you 5 top tips on how to stop becoming a busy builder. Now, I'm sure many of you can relate to that. I certainly can. I used to work 80 to 100 hours a week, so you're going to find these 5 tips really useful. Tip number 1, stop saying yes to everything. Now, what I mean by that is whenever a customer asks you to do something, just stop saying yes. Think about it. Are you doing it for your benefit or are you doing it for their benefit? Is it going to take up all of your time? Think about some of the jobs that come in. Every time your phone rings and a customer asks you to come and look at a job, do you just say yes? Or do you actually think about whether you want the work? Do you understand what type of work it is that you're saying yes to? But just stop and think for a minute before you say yes to every phone call. Because if if someone calls you on the phone, you're responding. So, your business is built based on whoever picks up the phone and calls you. You respond, go and look at the job, and then most likely you'll price that job and quote that job to get it. And then you could end up doing work that you don't really want to do. And that's pretty much the common reason why most people, become quite busy, because just saying yes to everything. It is, once I started saying no to a lot of people, which is what my mentor taught me to do, start saying no. Yes, my workload dropped off, but I started to pick and choose the work I wanted to do. And I started to earn a lot more money and have a lot more time back, which is, probably the 2 biggest pains for most builders. Tip number 2, quit the small jobs. You can't earn £10,000 out of a £1,000 job. Yes, that sounds obvious, but it's amazing how many people just say yes to everything. A £100 job comes in, a £200 job, and they might just think, oh, it's £200 for half a day, let's go and do it. But do you really go and do something else for the other half of the day? Probably not. So really, you've just got a day's wages for a whole day anyway. Yes, you've probably spent less hours working, but you've got to stop doing these small jobs, because these small jobs are just going to continually take your time up. You've probably got to go and look at the job, then you've got to go and quote for the job, then you've got to go back and do the job. It's probably 3 or 4 trips, to go and do a £200 or £300 job. You're not going to become financially better off and free up your time by doing the small jobs. I used to do loads and loads of jobs. Sometimes I'd do 2 or 3 jobs in a day, then I'll probably do 2 or 3 jobs in a week. When I started doing property development and I switched to 1 big job a year, I started earning a lot more money, 10, 15 times what I was earning, and I was working a fraction of the time because I could leverage and manage 1 job pretty much, an hour a day from a mobile phone or a laptop. So, changing to the bigger jobs was a big game changer for me all day long. Tip number 3, become the go-to people. So like the experts, build your brand. Get known on social media, get yourself some credibility. What can you do different that's going to be able to attract those better customers? We would target market people now. So Facebook ads is a good one. You can target the demographic. So, you wouldn't go and work for people who earn less than £100,000 a year. That means you're going to start and get a better customer, or certainly a better type of job, a bigger type of job, where probably the budget isn't the be all and end all deciding on whether you get that job or not. They might just like someone who can come in and give them what they want, and for them it's more about getting what they want rather than what it's going to cost. So it's a real good thing. And if you've got your branding and your social media and your credibility and a track record, and you get all these good testimonials, good reviews, you're most likely going to be able to get the better type of customer. It's as clear as that. Tip number 4, charge more. Up your prices. Most tradesmen are down here where they're quoting for work, and then when they get really busy, they get so busy that they get so much work up here that they start overpricing, or they don't even get back to the customers. And then as work drops off, they start and get slow again, so they have to start dropping their prices. Then they get busy, and you are always working down here rather than up there. So put your prices up. Keep putting them up 10% a month until you start and see the work starting to drop off. Now, being booked up for the next year is not bragging rights. That basically means your customers have got all your time. So you don't control your diary, your customers control your diary. But if you put your prices up gradually, yes, you will start and find work dropping off, but you'll probably find that you're getting paid exactly the same money, but for working less hours. And I'll give you an example. I used to do garage conversions. And let's say, for example, I made £1,000 a conversion. So if I had to do 52 conversions for for £1,000 a week in 1 year, I upped my profit. So I doubled it, so it go £2,000, And yes, my workload dropped off, but I only needed to do 26 garage conversions to get the same amount of money, £52,000 a year. Then I upped them again, so I went another £1,000, so I was getting £3,000 a garage, for example. And yes, my workload dropped off again. So I was probably only doing about 15 to 20 garage conversions, probably not even that. But what you find is that as you put your prices up, your workload drops off, but you're working the same amount of time, and you can get paid a lot more money for a lot less time. And if you do work all year, you're probably going to earn double, if not triple, what you're earning, what you're currently earning today. And then tip number 5, niche. I used to do kitchens, bathrooms, roofs, garage conversions, driveways, extensions, pretty much everything. And while it's nice to have a variety of work, you don't really earn loads of money because you're continually changing the trades that you do. You've got to go and probably find a few new people that you very rarely use, just do a specialist job, maybe like a fiberglass roof, for example. And that can take you time to keep finding your feet. You might be pricing at stuff that you're not familiar with. So I would say niching is probably one of the greatest ways to reduce your time. Like I say, I went into garage conversions. It was the quickest job to get in and out. It made the most amount of money for the least amount of time. Very minimal intrusion into people's houses. No planning permission generally required unless it was sort of some of the new builds where the garage was a parking space. And we become the go-to people. We was the specialists. We was the only people that specialised in that niche. And customers prefer to just use someone who does the whole job from start to finish. They know what they're doing, and they will pay a premium for that. If you're the only specialist, where's your competition? So whether you specialise in kitchens or bathrooms or extensions or driveways, whatever you do, try and stick to that and grow that one business. If you're going to do two different things, try and treat it like two different businesses, but don't have one business that does every different type of work, because you'll end up being a busy fool. Yes, you might earn a fairly good salary, a good wage, but you're going to be busy and you're going to be paying for it. Every evening's going to be spent quoting, invoicing, paying money, customers calling you, changes. I know because I've been there. That's what my 80 to 100 hours of work week used to look like. As soon as I niched, I started to reduce all my workload, earning more money, free up a load of time. That was time I could spend with my family, so definitely a better use of my time. I got to go to the gym, keep fit. When I was working too much, there was certainly no time for that at all. So I hope you found this video useful. Lots more videos like this planned for you guys. I want to share some of the stuff that I've been learning over the last sort of 6 to 7 years that have took me from 80 to 100 hour work weeks down to pretty much doing what I want, whenever I want, whenever I want. And I live a life of pretty good lifestyle of freedom and choice now. And money is in abundance from what I do with property development. So yeah, please like and subscribe to the video. Any comments, put them in there below. It'd be myself personally that gets back to you. And we'll see you on the next video.